Every great series has to get a spin-off at some point. Poorly aged rap lyrics has been doing insanely well, and now it's time to pivot for a little bit and look at controversial rap lyrics. The Better Call Saul to my Breaking Bad, if you will. We're gonna be looking at lyrics that either caused a stir with the general public or with people in high places, and resulted in either some form of censorship or a response from the artist towards the backlash. This is CDTV Productions. Let's take a look at these lyrics.
Probably finna make you mad. I'm steady waiting for the day I get to see his ass and give him two from the barrel of a black gorilla, and that's real from the motherfucking bush killer.
Yeah, lines about murdering the president of the United States at the time definitely qualify for this list. I only played a few of the lyrics there, but as the song name implies, the whole thing is about Paris imagining how he would take out George H.W. Bush if he could, due to his frustrations with how he felt black people were treated by his administration. Something that is also depicted on the remastered version of the album cover that this song comes from. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the hardest presidential assassination anthem that has ever been released. Paris's record label at the time, Tommy Boy Records, wanted to release the Sleeping with the Enemy album that this song comes from, but their distributor, Warner Bros, wouldn't allow it to be released. This ballsy man Paris wanted to drop the album with this song pre-presidential election in 1992, but due to the circumstances with Warner Bros, that didn't happen. According to the man himself, Warner Bros allegedly paid him 6 figures because they didn't release the album, and Paris used that money to fully set up his own record label and release the album independently in November 1992, post-presidential election. And hilariously, when Bill Clinton was elected over George Bush Sr. in the 1992 election, Paris was quoted as saying, "I'm optimistic that things will get better and that I won't have to write Clinton Killa." That's one hell of a quote right there.
Out of a 20, fuck money, I don't rap for dead presidents. I'd rather see the president dead.
Aw, and here we just have a wholesome like father, like son moment, because Eminem has a lyric about wanting the son of George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush, dead. I'm starting to get the feeling some people weren't so fond of this family. This isn't the only anti-Bush line that Eminem has rapped. His song Mosh was a whole rallying cry against his presidency and his continuation of the war in Iraq. But this one caused slightly more of a stir with the implied reference that he wants Bush dead. The song leaked in 2003, the Secret Service became aware of it, and then they considered investigating Eminem because it's their standard procedure to investigate anything that could be interpreted as a threat against the president. A Secret Service official was quoted as saying, "It would be saying too much to make too big of a deal out of this," so clearly they weren't that up in arms about it. But regardless, when the song officially dropped on Eminem's Encore album as a bonus track in 2004, the word dead in this line was censored by reversing it. I used the word censored really lightly here.
I don't rap for dead presidents. I'd rather see the president dead.
He wants the president what? I can't figure out what he was trying to say. Even though this situation didn't end up in an investigation, I still think the fact that they ultimately decided to try and censor it a little bit indicates at least a bit of controversy around this one.
Yeah, and if I ever lack, I'm going out with my chopper, it'd be another Kobe.
I know this song was never officially released, and judging artists on stuff that they said in songs that they didn't actually put out can be a bit shaky sometimes. But with this one, it's just like, why did you even write that down and say it out loud without thinking, nah, maybe not. This is almost as offensive as the meals that Meek Mill posts on Instagram. Just having this reference to how an incredibly well-respected icon and his daughter died not very long after it happened is a little bit tone deaf, to say the least. And it was on a song that was partially named after him and dedicated to him. Kobe's wife, Vanessa Bryant, responded to the lyric calling it extremely insensitive and disrespectful, and she also hit him with the "I'm not familiar with any of your music, but you can do better." And after that, plus all the Twitter backlash, I can't see this song ever coming out. Go back to eating that placenta ramen special or whatever that was and rethink this one, Meek.
Got problems. I worship the late prophet, the great Muhammad. Omar Atta, Ford's coverage behind me. Will of the plane remind me when I was dealing the cane.
So if you're on the younger side of my audience, you might be asking, who is this Muhammad Amir Atta that Juelz Santana speaks of, and why would it be controversial for him to simply look up to and commend his abilities and courage as a pilot? He was one of the 9/11 hijackers. Juelz Santana said that he admires the courage of a terrorist who flew a plane into a building, killing thousands of people, because it reminds him of the courage that he had when he was dealing cocaine. What? As is common with these controversial rap lyrics, the rapper that said them doesn't believe they should be controversial, with Juelz doubling down heavy and saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes for my people, the same way as he did for his people. Not that I support him or what he did, but in order for him to do that, it had to take courage and love for what he believed in. A lot of New York people don't have that. Maybe if they did, something like that wouldn't happen. That last line there, that might just be worse than the lyric itself. This one was another leaked song, and Juelz was pretty adamant about the fact that when this song was officially released on the album that it was slated for, that it wouldn't be changed. Only for the album to drop with this lyric being changed.
I worship the late prophet, the great Muhammad Ali, for the words he spoke that stung like a bee.
Went from the R-rated version to the Kids Bop version real fast, but I'm not gonna lie, these new lyrics are a million times better in just about every conceivable way.
First, you find a house and scope it out. Find a Chinese neighborhood, 'cause they don't believe in bank accounts.
And finally, we have a line that passed by without that much scrutiny for years after it dropped. You see, the concept of this song is YG and TC4800 painting a picture of how they would rob a house, detailing their thought process behind every single step of it. And the song first gained some mainstream negative attention in 2016, after the attempted robbery of Feng Zhu Chan, a Chinese American woman living in Georgia who killed one of her 3 intruders in self-defense. After that happened, attention was drawn back around to this song released 2 years prior, and there was even a White House petition started to get the song banned that got over 114,000 signatures. By the way, this was past the threshold that it needed to hit to get an official response, with part of the response saying, the First Amendment protects the freedom of speech in the United States. The White House doesn't make decisions about whether particular songs are available publicly. No further action was taken, but then the controversy surrounding the song resurfaced again in 2021, with YouTube staff calling for the song to be removed from the platform due to the aforementioned lyric and yet another rise in Asian American hate crimes in that year. Initially, YouTube sided against removing the song and the video from its platform, saying that while they found the song to be offensive, it was protected due to an exception for artistic context. YouTube employees pushed back against this decision, and the original version of the song was eventually removed from the platform. Although as far as I'm aware, it was unclear whether this was actually YouTube's doing or if YG and his team removed it themselves due to the controversy. Meet the Flockers was then re-uploaded onto YouTube and on streaming services, with the lyrics edited to sound like this.
First, you find a house and scope it out. Find a neighborhood, 'cause they don't believe in bank accounts.
And with this one, I've got to say, I understand both sides of it to an extent, although I don't really think the song should have been taken down. With YG, I don't think he was trying to encourage anyone to do the same. I think he was just using rap as a vehicle for storytelling based on what he knows. There definitely is a discussion to be had around these lines, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with thinking these lines are bad, I just don't think that censoring them is the way to go. Honestly, with every lyric on this list, I don't think censoring them is the way to go. They can be discussed, they can definitely be criticized, but I don't think any of them should be forcibly changed or suppressed, even if they're lines that I don't agree with. But that is just how I feel, so how do you guys feel about all these lyrics? Let me know down in the comments below, and of course, thank you so much for watching this video. You can click on the screen right here to catch up with my Poorly Aged Rap Lyric series if you haven't done so already, and much love to all of my Patreon supporters on the screen right now. With a special shout out to my biggest supporters on there, and those are Big Daddy Foe, David, I Am Region, and Ryan Shadow 507.